People who lost their virginity to a prostitute, how did it go and how do you feel about it now? Story 1. I was in college, depressed, low self-esteem, and kind of overweight. I just wanted to do it. Found a website, arranged it, went there, was nervous at first, but she made it easy. She was very sweet and beautiful and it was as good of a first experience as I could hope for, except I couldn't stay and snuggle for hours. I did that for a few more years with different women. Most were good experiences but a few weren't, and eventually got less nervous around women. I got quite friendly with one. I helped her out with some photos and website stuff, and we hung out in malls and had dinner sometimes. She was the only one I went to for a year and a half and was kind of like girlfriend beginner training now that I think about it. I moved to another country where I didn't know how to get one there, so I just stopped doing it. Got in shape, handled depression better, found women would be flirting with me, and started dating. So it worked out for me in the end, but that isn't the case for everybody. Story 2. I didn't bad about it since I was 18. At the time a co-worker of mine would tell me his adventures in Tijuana and the lovely nightlife. One day I asked if I can tag along the next time he goes out there. He would go mostly every weekend since he had a girlfriend out there, and agreed. As we were on our way that night, he explained the do's and don'ts and what to expect out of it. He made it clear to take my time and not to rush anything. We had the whole night. Made it to TJ, went to his usual bar and after 2 hours, I chose one for night. I was so damn nervous. All I've known was just jerking off to pawn and this was going into the real thing. She knew I was nervous and she put her hand on me and said it looks like it's your first time. Don't worry and relax. LOL, I kept going to limp mode due to being so nervous. She ended jerking me off at the end. I go back down to my co-worker and he asked how was it? It was fine LOL. A week later I end hooking up with my first girlfriend and not being so nervous second time around. Story 3. Found her online. Honestly, looking back I don't regret it. I was 31 years old, it was way overdue. It felt kind of weird at the time, not necessarily bad, just like I've now crossed the bridge and there's no going back. Story 4. I was involved with hiring a sex worker for a disabled man. He had cerebral palsy and really wanted to lose his virginity. It was a whole safeguarding thing with care managers and his parents having to be involved. We found him a lovely woman who had previous experience with disabled clients and everything went well for him. I was one of the more open-minded advocates involved. Workers offer services that mean far more to people in a lot of cases than you would think. Experiencing an intimacy for the first time just being one of them. It should long have been legalized and regulated and unionized. Story 5. I feel good about it, and it was realistically the only way it was going to happen. I had an abusive childhood, EI. My mother would have gotten prison time, and the only form of love I knew was pity. The chance to earn affection was earned in itself, and it was gamble if it paid out. I was taught love wasn't only conditional, but that it's a temporary commodity. Loads of mental shit and sweat. I had never been hugged before, and paid for it for 2 hours. Afterwards I dry heaved, but couldn't cry. At least I knew what it was like. Afterwards there was sex, but overall it was a beneficial experience. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to notifications for new incredible stories.